Do we still have quorum? We do.
Yes, we can keep going.
Okay. So this is in reference to Area 1 of Lot 2, Community Lands, Land Use Bylaw number 57, 2002, amendment bylaw number 438 of 2017. The public hearing is being convened in order to receive submissions from the public regarding proposed land use bylaw number 57, 2002, amendment bylaw 438 of 2017, Area 1, Lot 2, Community Lands. Anyone who believes that their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present submissions respecting matters contained in the proposed bylaw. Any person who wishes to present a written submission to council may do so, and all written submissions will be received by council before the close of this hearing and presented to the minute taker. If a member of the public wishes to address council, they will be asked to sign the speakers list and should begin by clearly stating their name and address for the record. Comments should be related to the subject bylaw and be directed to council. Members of council may ask questions to seek clarification following the presentation on points raised. However, the main function of the council members is to listen to the views of the public. It is not the function of council members to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw with individual citizens. In considering the proposed bylaw, council has received documents which may influence its decision. These documents are available for reviewing during this hearing. Your only opportunity to comment on the proposed bylaws is during this hearing, as members of council may not receive further submissions, verbal or in writing, after the close of this hearing. Council can determine when the proposed bylaw will be scheduled for consideration, and council may either adopt or defeat the bylaws, or alter and then adopt the bylaws, providing that the alteration does not alter the use, increase the density, or without the owner's consent, decrease the density of any area from that originally specified in the bylaw. I'm getting a lot of practice in that puppy. Anyway, so we now have a presentation from our planning department. Hi, Daniel.
So thank you, Mayor and Council. So here today at the public hearing to talk about Area 1 of Block 2 and bylaw number 438. So as Council is aware, that Area 1 of Block 2 is located along Bowen Island Trent Road, immediately adjacent to Senior Road, just down the hill from the school and up from the Four Corners. It's in the Comprehensive Development Zone 19, which governs Lot 2, or the majority of Lot 2. The zoning allows principal use of apartment dwelling and supportive housing and a number of accessory commercial uses. And it allows apartment dwelling and townhouse dwelling structures. It allows a maximum height of 14 meters, has minimum setbacks. Allows a maximum of 2,500 square meters of floor area, and that's divided between the apartment use and the commercial uses, and a maximum FSR of 1. So bylaw number 438 that's before you does a number of things. So it would amend the bylaw to allow a different proportion of residential to commercial floor area, so it would allow greater residential floor area out of that still capped 2,500 square meters of floor area. So it would allow up to 1,000 square meters flat of residential, and then the rest is a proportion up to 2,200 square meters with the provision of 300 square meters of commercial floor area. It would redraw the zone boundary between Area 1 and 3 to match the property boundary shown on the previous slide that was established in a recent subdivision. It would reduce the setback on Senior Road to 0 meters, incorporating a recent development variance permit into the land use bylaw. It would remove the restriction on the number of stories. So right now there's a cap of 3 stories as well as the height of 14 meters, and this would remove the story cap that leaves the height regulation unchanged. And finally, this final amendment to the bylaw would exclude the parking areas, covered parking areas from the floor area. So this would be the new bylaw map. The new Area 1 would follow the zone boundary, or follow the lot boundary, sorry, the zone boundary matched. In terms of the background of this bylaw, so council directed staff to make a draft amendment bylaw in January 23rd, 2017. That bylaw was drafted and given first reading at the February 27th council meeting and referred to the Islands Trust and the APC. Following return of those, on May 8th, council amended the bylaw to remove that story restriction and read it a second time as amended and referred it to a public hearing. September 11th, the public hearing was held. 5 speakers spoke at that public hearing and 1 submitted written comment. The comments from that public hearing are included in the minutes of the public hearing that are in the public hearing agenda today. So I'll go over them again. Then on October 8th, council gave third reading to the bylaw. And then November 14th meeting, council rescinded second and third reading of the bylaw, amended the bylaw and read it again a second time and referred it to a public hearing. So that was the amendment that addressed the covered parking area and excluding that from the floor area. So the restrictions would remain in place in terms of floor area for residential and commercial use, but for covered parking area, if development of the site is to be in an underground parking area, that would not count towards the total floor area or the total FSR on the site. So Islands Trust referral, April 5th meeting, Islands Trust resolved that it's amended bylaw number 438 is not contrary to or at variance with the Islands Trust policy statement. The APC on their April 3rd meeting discussed it, supported the proposed increase of the floor area within the total floor area. And the APC at that meeting had recommended the number of stories criteria be removed and just the height limit remain at 14 meters. So at the time of the writing, no comments have been received beyond those from the September 11th public hearing. That includes the Tim Rhodes letter that's in the public hearing agenda received at that meeting. And subsequently over the weekend, 1 written comment was received from James Tour, and I believe that's in the on-table items. And that is the extent of my presentation.
Sorry, I was just reading the public comment. Do we have any members of the public to speak to this today?
We do not.
Okay. So I am calling again for public input. I'm calling a second time reading this thing. I'm calling a second time for further public input. Calling a third time for further, and this is the final time that we are asking for public input regarding bylaw number 438, 2017. Okay, written submissions received up to November 22nd included Tim Rhodes, letter of September 11th, and James Tour's letter. If there's no further public input, council does not wish to have a further staff report, then the recommendation is that all written and verbal submissions regarding bylaw number 438, 2017, up to and including November 27th, 2017, be received and the public hearing be adjourned.
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor? 'Tis done.